The lesson.
Oh yeah.
You know, in that period when you're younger and, you know, there's the drug side of things, there's the violent side of things.
Yeah.
And then you said that you were living with your mum, so the old man wasn't around. Did you have any sort of relationship, and how did that affect you around that time?
So yeah, I've had a relationship with my old man. I lived with him for about 5 years. My mum was going through some shit, and I went and lived with my old man for a bit. We have our relationship's all right, you know. It's but it's more of a friendship than a father-son type relationship. And my old man has his demons, you know, which he's battled with for years, and obviously used certain substances to deal with that. So, I mean, yeah, like we're all good, you know. Yeah, we're closer now than we used to be, you know. Obviously, yeah, as I became older and started realising things, because when you're young, you know, when people aren't in your life, you're really angry, you know. You're sad, you're upset, and you don't know how to deal with that, so it's easier to hate on people. But as I got older and went through my own shit, I started to understand his situation a bit better. And so, like, forgave him for a lot of things. But no, we're all good now, man. Yeah, like father, like son. That's a song I did on my first EP, Strong and Loyal.
Yeah. So, I guess, you know, elaborate on that a little bit. What you mean by that?
Well, that was just my first sort of. So music for me, it's always been a good way to express myself, you know, and a good way to. I could never really talk to my old man about things, so I just thought, I think I wrote that when I was 18, recorded that when I was 20, but I wrote that when I was 18, you know, and it was just my way of letting him know how I felt. There's a line in the song where I say, "You aren't and never were a hopeless father," and because he wasn't a hopeless dad, you know, he was just going through his shit, you know. But obviously, I touched on some issues there, and. But the main sort of theme of the song, it's a good message, you know. Like the love was always there, but his priorities were elsewhere, you know.
And then so that's after The Price of Life.
Yep. So Price of Life's 2012. I dropped the Strong and Loyal EP in 2013.
Now, is it before The Price of Life that you dabbled in battle rap?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was actually before you even released anything.
Yeah, so I was doing the battle raps when I was 16, 17. And so back then there wasn't much opportunity to get into the game, you know. Plus I had no money back then, I had no connections, I wasn't able to do videos or hit a studio. So I remember just thinking like how I want to start getting into the scene, but how am I getting into the scene, you know? And back then battle rap was the thing, you know. And if you look back, bro, like that's how a lot of, like that's how 360, other artists that are big now, that's how they got into the scene, you know. Like they didn't have albums out before they were battle rapping, you know. Back then you just battle rapped, bro, you know. And then 2013, 14, the scene started really kicking off, and blokes started doing albums, and blokes are doing really well for themselves now, you know. That was just my foot in the door. That's how I saw it, you know. That's where I met the Wizard of Oz, my big bro, and he gave me a shot. That's he said come through, you know, and he's always shown me a lot of love, bro, and we're still brothers to this day, you know. But yeah, it was only, like I'm not into battle rap, bro. The thing with me, especially when I was younger, I was real anti, and it was hard for me to hate on someone during a battle and then be friends with them after it. I couldn't do it, and I got in a lot of trouble back then, me and the boys, because we were starting fights after the battles and causing a ruckus and getting venues shut down, and so it was just hard for me, bro. And that's why I ended up not doing the battle rap anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to get my foot in the door.
Because you only had like four or five battles.
Yeah.
And I think one of them was a 2-on-2, and it was you and Vamps.
Me and Vamps versus P-Cert and Tourette's, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Bro. Yeah.
And I guess just in that little battle rap period, you know, whether it was the battles or the shit that happened afterwards, what was like the most memorable thing that you can take from that?
The most memorable thing is meeting the Wizard of Oz. Like that's my brother. And that's beyond rap, that's beyond music, that's family, and that's forever. So I don't look at it as what did I take out from it as like did I get views? Did I get my foot in the door? Nah, man, I met the Wizard of Oz, you know. And he's SAL, bro. He's part of the family, and I'm blessed to call him my friend. And yeah, so that's what I took out of it, bro. That friendship and that brotherhood with him.
Yeah, word. So that's before the price of life.
That's before the price of life. Yeah.
Then the price of life has dropped.
Yeah, man, and that's once I did my first video and had the opportunity to get in the booth. That's when I stopped battling, bro. 'Cause, yeah, I didn't need my foot in the door anymore, and I was sick of hating the dude for 6-7 minutes and then pretending to be their mate afterwards, bro. You know, I just couldn't act fake. You know, couldn't do it, man. Plus, I was causing too many dramas for all the promoters and the venues, so I was just like, I'll do them a favour and just stick to the studio, bro. You know.
So was it basically a thing of like after the battles, you're catching up with dudes in car parks and shit like that?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. But even more so is my mates, you know. So the same boys I was with back then are the same boys I'm with now, you know. SAL. And they take offence to what someone would say to me. And half the time I wouldn't even kick it off. My mates would be out there waiting for him once the gig was over, you know.
I guess, can you recall any, like in particular, any incidences after the battle where shit went down?
Yeah, bro. Just, I won't mention names and that, but just knives getting pulled.
Oh, to that level?
Yeah, of course, bro. Because we're young, we're getting disrespected. We got egos. We're not copping that, you know. So it was bad for business, and as my respect for Twiz grew, you know, I just said, look, bro, like it's probably best, you know, that I stop coming. I don't want to do it anyway, and I know you're trying to run a business and make money, and like the battle scene didn't have a crew like mine in it at the time, you know. Everyone was sort of like, you know, you'd be surprised, bro. A lot of battle rappers are 9-to-5ers, you know, which is cool, bro. Like that's cool, but we were from the other side of the tracks, you know. We were rocking up with blades and just come from doing a job and cooked, and they just hadn't seen that before, you know. It really put a lot of people off, you know. Made it feel a bit uncomfortable, man. So.
the lesson. Oh yeah.